Welcome to the Wrestling Still Cool podcast. I'm Cam. That's Mark.
Hey guys, appreciate y'all joining in.
All right, you can go ahead and follow us on Twitter at Wrestling S Cool. Go ahead and take over for the rest.
For the Instagram is at Wrestling Still Cool. Facebook is Wrestling Still Cool. TikTok is Wrestling Still Cool 90. And you can also find us on at email at wrestlingstillcool@gmail.com.
Alrighty, so we're going to go ahead and talk about the 2021 Royal Rumble and what we think will be the outcome of the majority of the matches. Of course, we can't really predict the Royal Rumble match because it's the Royal Rumble, legitimately.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, it looks like not all 30 participants for the men's and same for the women's have not even been announced. So we'll jump to those last. The Royal Rumble we'll do last. The first one we'll talk about is Roman Reigns with Paul Heyman and versus Kevin Owens in a last man standing match. Who do you think is going to take this one?
Well, as a fan, I would like to see KO beat the snot out of Roman Reigns. But I think it's going to be a great match and really a good storytelling match. I think you got KO. This is badass. Coming in and to get some revenge on the sub. One hell of a heel of Roman Reigns who just wanted to just hit him. That's pretty much all you want to do. You just hit him. And but in the reality of it, storyline and knowing that where this storyline will potentially be at will be Roman Reigns being victorious, being the last man standing and still champion. But we're looking forward to having that hell of a slobber knocker, as JR would say.
It's unfortunate. I would like to see KO win. I would really like to see KO win. But you're almost guaranteeing that Roman Reigns is going to hold on to that title past WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I don't see him dropping it anytime soon.
Absolutely. But, it's maybe there's somewhere along down the way they'll bring KO for a bigger push and put him as champion. But that's just on down
it's
the line.
It's not happening now.
Wishful thinking, and not right now.
Yeah. The other championship match is Drew McIntyre versus Goldberg. What do you think?
Battle of the Titans, man. You have old school hero for the new school hero, as I would say. I'm still looking forward to this match. Some people are like, this match is, not what some people are looking forward to because they, feel like it's too paragraphed. Or telegraphed, I should say, my bad. But I'm looking forward to it. It's not going to be a long match.
No, not at all.
Definitely not. I would say within definitely 10 minutes. Probably shorter than that. I see Drew McIntyre being the young guy, still carrying the torch, still carrying it all for the company and being the winner of this match. Just him to get past that other torch.
So here's the rough part that I'm at. As much as I think it's a better idea to have Drew win it, my faith in WWE leaving it that way is that it's not going to be. That's not going to go down like that. I think Goldberg is going to win, and they're going to do a title versus title match where it's Goldberg versus Roman because that's what they really wanted. It's going to be Goldberg versus Roman at a pay-per-view. And then at WrestleMania, Goldberg goes ahead and loses it again. But I unfortunately, it's not what my heart's behind. It's just more or less what I think WWE is going to do. I think Goldberg is going to take this one.
If perhaps, let's say hypothetically, let's just say that they go that direction in WrestleMania, is Goldberg versus Roman, title versus title.
I don't think it's going to be WrestleMania. They technically can't because of Royal Rumble. Whoever wins the Royal Rumble challenges the champion at WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's true. What am I thinking? Okay, so do they go to like say what the Chamber or Fastlane? Excuse me, my bad. Oh, I'll take a WrestleMania for my bad. So they go. It's certainly a letdown to me because
it is
because even though that's what they want, it's not really what the fans want. But they want, oh, we got a spear versus spear. We gotta have that WrestleMania match that we didn't get to have. You know,
right?
We don't need to see it for one. Two, there is no what they call greater good for it. There's nothing that's to really gain from it. So why are we taking the title away from Drew McIntyre, which he's the top dog right now, versus a guy who doesn't need the title? You know, so it wouldn't make any sense for that to take place. So
I fully agree with you. It doesn't make sense, but I also know WWE really doesn't make sense sometimes.
I know. I don't see the word the big gain is.
Cough, Fiend, cough, Goldberg, cough, cough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't see where the gain is. I don't see where the positive is. So if they are intelligent, WWE is intelligent, but they have their hiccups. So I would hope it's not the hiccup because there's nothing really gained out. You know, huh?
Yeah, I get you. I don't think there's any real gain for it. It's just I think it's more or less they have their heart set on this is going to happen. So I think that's where it's at. They're like, oh yeah, we could definitely do it. You know, get Goldberg versus Roman. But you really can have an opportunity here to pass the torch to Drew McIntyre from Goldberg.
No, I don't think that's what's going to be. But yeah, we'll leave that possibility up for the hiccup. Yeah, that would be a damn shame. Tell you that would be the case. So it would.
I also want to see Drew break out a jackhammer. Not gonna lie.
He might. Never know. I thought it was. They made the plans last year. They wanted to see Randy Orton versus Edge for the WWE title this year. I'm like, well, we want a rematch, and this time we want the title on the line. I'm like, you don't need the title on the line. I didn't even want to see the match. I mean, I respect Edge's career and his in ring and so forth, but I'll be honest with everybody else. I'm not a huge Edge fan. There's some personal things with that too, but they're just never what you call the biggest Edge head. And Orton, respect his stuff though as well. But I wouldn't have been that invested into that kind of match. The title on the line just wasn't going to be something I was. So hopefully that still would be the case of happening. Hopefully not. But it's the same thing if you would have Goldberg and Roman Reigns for the title, man for they just there's not much investment to it. So anyways,
yeah. Well, and then so there's a couple more title matches. We have Asuka and Flair versus Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. So before we get into this, the caveat that I have to say about that, I am so done with the Lacey Evans, Charlotte Flair feud. I'm beyond done with that.
I'm not. I think that's all right to me. I think it's something that's I think more will come out of it. I mean, I
don't like it.
But why not? Seriously,
I don't know. I just have no interest in it, and I guess it's because they're trying to bring in Ric Flair as like a sticking point between the two, but it's just like this is not something I'm interested in, man. It's like
it reminds me of a little bit.
What?
Just a little bit. It reminds me back in when you had Vince and Trish Stratus and pulling around, and you had Stephanie McMahon getting all pissed off because I'm the better man, woman, and it's like we have Lacey, now getting involved with the Flair family and flirting and doing whatever with Rick wearing the robe, big part of the Flair family. So It's not exactly the same, but just there's a similarity there. I feel that that may have been the influence.
I got you. I mean, if you like it, you like it. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just I after watching a couple weeks of it, I'm like, I'm not really behind this storyline.
I'm not a big Flair, the name fan, but I think it's interesting. I'm involved in it. It's something different for him, and for all of them. So, and it gives also Lacey a little bit of a push to have her do something. But yeah, there we go.
Don't get me wrong. I should definitely think there could be another way of building a feud between the two without involving Rick. But yeah, I'm just.
I don't. Yes and no. I mean, yes, there always could be, but I mean, it just makes it more personal. So, I mean, if you don't have that, really, how personal can it truly be? Talk about ending someone's career. This brings it to a personal level into it, yeah. But I'm looking forward to seeing more of that, see what happens, and I think more will be.
I mean, possibly. Now, who do you think will win the women's tag team match?
I'm sure it'd be Flair and Asuka.
Flair and Asuka. See, I'm mixed. I'm kind of leaning more towards Shayna and Nia.
Why's that?
I don't know. I just have this feeling that the Asuka and Charlotte will lose the titles, and Asuka will pursue the singles women. Oh, I actually think she is a singles women's champion. She'll pursue a feud there, and then I think Nia Jax and I think Charlotte Flair will continue a feud with Lacey Evans on a personal level. Then in my personal opinion, I think having Nia Jax and Shayna argue again as tag team champions is probably where they want to go with it to eventually lead them both into where they're holding the tag team titles, but also feuding with Asuka for the women's title match, women's title. So I think that's where I think it's going to go. So because of that, I'm leaning more towards Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, but that's just where I'm at with it.
Okay. All right. Well, okay. We'll see what happens. Honestly, with Asuka being Raw Women's Champion, they had Asuka versus Alexa Bliss on Monday Night Raw, and at first I'm like, it's like, well, I think Orton's going to interfere, or at least give it a distraction. But there's, and next Alexa Bliss transformed herself into that evil side during the match. I'm like, well, this could go a different way, but I'm still thinking Orton might do something. But I was like, I don't think Alexa needs that women's title.
No, I don't think so.
She don't really see what she's doing now is more than enough. And so yeah, my prediction in my mind was right. I thought that was a good call for Orton getting involved. RKO to Alexa, and yeah, that was a good call. Good booking in that one. And yeah, she don't need the title. So I'm like, it's not the right time for us to lose it right now. So yeah, it was good to see. It's good to see that one. So yeah, absolutely good call, and look forward to that match. But I'm calling for Flair and Asuka though.
With what's going on with Randy and Orton and Alexa Bliss, I think this is going to mark the return of the Fiend.
I think so too. I'm thinking in my mind. I've been thinking in my mind last, say, couple weeks. I'm like, he's going to return to Rumble. The Fiend, and I believe he is. There was a little rumor mill going on here about there's some supposedly there's going to be a kind of a scary ending to the Rumble match. I'm thinking that's where the Fiend will get involved with cost Orton the Rumble match. However, they're talking about scary ending. I don't see what's more scary than somebody getting burned. Fiend getting burned. But anyways, it's